I know that everyone has moved on, but I have not. And I need to talk about this. I need to talk about this. Criminal Minds just did the biggest change of a character of an unsub like ever in its history. I don't think they've ever done this before. I mean, they have done this before. This plotline, if you don't remember, regardless of how many times I mentioned it in my videos, this plotline was a rehashed plotline from a previous season where the unsub was in a coma for a long time. Then he woke up and started getting his memories back, but his personality changed and he wanted to pay for his crimes. It was a rehash. I will never let this go. It was a rehash. However, with Voight, it's a little bit different because Voight, we knew so well. We followed him for 2 seasons, and not just 2 regular Criminal Minds seasons where the main villain would be like in little bits in the episodes. No, 2 full seasons where Voight was always there. And Voight was not only always there, Baby Boy was always there and always a step ahead of the BAU until the very final episode. Even in season 2, that little idiot was behind bars and he was still a step ahead them. And like every little bit of information they got from Voight when he wanted to give it, and it was beneficial for him to give it. This was such a well-crafted unsub. Like, it was so well-crafted. He was so psychotic and so manipulative and such a good con man in his I love my family little con that I and a lot of people spent a big portion of this season thinking that he was lying. That to the very end, I was thinking, is he lying to the very end? But he was not lying. He did lose his memory. His personality did change. He did start feeling empathy for people. And in the end, even though we saw like little daydreaming, little fantasy of his and the bus that he fantasized about strangling someone, we know that he's fighting those urges. We know that if it is for the people he has, an emotional connection to, he will fight the urges, as he fought for the Dr. Ochoa, and as he fought for JJ. So he is different. And yes, he still has the urges to kill. And yes, he still feels enjoyment seeing, the Sicarius spiders doing their job. But it's not like it was, by far. However, this change failed. It failed so spectacularly because, oh my God, they had such good potential with this goddamn disciple. They managed to convince an audience that the biggest psychopath in the show actually lost his memory and became a better person. By whatever standard we want to consider him a better person, he is a better person, objectively. Like, he saved the doctor. And the mother and the daughter earlier, and like he put it down his gun for JJ, okay? Objectively, from everything we know so far in this season, Voight is somewhat better person. So they managed to convince us that the biggest psychopath in the show gained empathy, and then at the same goddamn time, they established a pretty decent unsub to follow Voight, like to come after Voight. And the thing they got completely sideways wrong was the relationship between these 2 unsubs. Because when we met this new, really mythic unsub that was able to, be even more technologically advanced, the way that I'm talking about the unsub as if they are some program, like be more tech savvy than Voight. We established this unsub in a way that they were able to lure the BAU into traps, that they were able to control Voight's network. Like, this was a pretty incredible, he was so smart and so seemingly connected that we all thought it could be Tyler, it could be Rebecca, it could be whoever. And then it was just a random lady they introduced in the last episode, and she was a goddamn groupie. She was a groupie to Voight, who was healed of his psychopathy. she was such a weak unsub. Like, I was expecting the most menacing thing ever. Like, a person who orchestrated specific attacks to make sure that Voight would witness said attacks and awaken the psychopath. That's smart. That's not just smart, that's an evil ass plotline. And then it's just this lady that gets taken down in one episode. I mean, at least they could have used her for a little while longer. At least they could have made her the unsub for the next season, which would also put Voight on the sidelines, but they could explore a lot more of her life, what it was like to live with Cyrus, because we saw so little of it, what she did afterwards. And I mean, there was even this lore about the fact that she targeted like rich older men, and then we saw the file and it was like this thing, and in my mind I'm thinking, this is going to be something in season 19. The file is just going to get thicker and thicker and thicker, and there's going to be like other people connected or something. I mean, why arrest her? Why not make her outsmart the BAU? If you already know that there is going to be a season 19, why not allow the BAU to lose? Crush them. Crush them to the goddamn floor. Make this unsub actually freaking smart. Make this unsub actually outsmart the BAU. I mean, she's basically supposed to be Voight 2.0. Voight almost won. Twice. If he hadn't been attacked in that jail, he probably would have found a way to recuperate his life in this psychopathy. Make this unsub be Voight 2.0. Be even more menacing than Voight. Be even more evil than Voight. I mean, you have the capacity there, but of course, making her a woman would always not really work, because we know that, like, women who are unsubs are never, they never reach the levels of insanity that the male unsubs do. We've been new. But I don't know, there could have been something. There could have been an alternate reason. They can come up with so much shit in that writer's room, okay? They can come up with so much shit. They could have come up with something for this. Because it felt so goddamn anticlimactic. Like, the whole season, it was about this goddamn disciple. It was about building the lore of this goddamn disciple. And it was not just building lore from scratch on Criminal Minds, world. It was building lore from an already existing, like, top-tier unsub. And then she got caught in the last episode. She was introduced and got caught in the same episode. So what does this mean for Voight? Because, I mean, where I'm standing, Voight's recovery seems a lot more about them wanting to use Voight in the team than anything related to interesting storytelling. I mean, the storytelling is interesting. Seeing a psychopath, and I don't know how possible this is, to be honest. I do have a psych degree. I was absolutely zero interested in perpetrators. I don't give two shits about them. I was a victim's girly. But this is so interesting from just a human point of view, a behavioral point of view. The fact that he can still have his memories, but be so goddamn haunted by them that he doesn't even want a goddamn deal. He just wants to go to prison and pay for it. Because that's the point where we are with Voight. He just wants to go to prison to pay for it. And the idea that the horrendous idea that next season he's going to be like a consultant for the BAU, or he's going to still be used by the BAU, is just do that character better. I mean, do you know what I hope, actually? And this is how I'll finish this video. I hope that they don't turn Voight into a good guy, because his urges are coming back. He's fantasizing about killing people. And what I really want is for him to, like, turn into a Dexter kind of character. But they can't. They can't do that. Because I was also thinking, maybe he takes himself out, but that's literally the rehash of the previous unsub that was like him. Like, I don't know how they're going to make this storyline successful. Now, like, I don't know how they're going to make this storyline successful now that they've taken out the disciple and completely wasted a disciple that was related to Voight. I don't know how Voight is going to be relevant. And the idea that this whole goddamn season with Voight having this huge ass transformation, the biggest change in an unsub in the Criminal Minds TV show ever. And that's it. It was just this season and then nothing. Then the finale was so ugh. And then nothing. Or they're going to use him as a consultant. I hate it. Like, transforming a psychopath like that to then use him as an asset to the team. Okay, final thing. It has nothing to do with Criminal Minds, but if you've been wondering why my wall is without my watercolors, it's because this is in preparation for a video. Wow, my arm looks so weird. This is in preparation for a video that is coming maybe next week. I'm recording it this week, and it's gonna be huge. And it's gonna be about a show that is coming back soon, and y'all are gonna love it. See you then. Bye.